obviously I've been incredibly frustrated with Joe Manchin and others. He's their figurehead. He's the one that's most public about it, but incredibly frustrated with Joe Manchin for deciding that his own short-term personal profit, the idea that for the remaining 15 years that he's got on this earth, he needs more money that he can't spend. He already has more money than he'll ever spend. He wants even more imaginary money. And if you and your families and perhaps millions or billions of people need to suffer or die for him to have that, that's a decision that he's made. Damn Biden, damn his promises about the climate. It's whatever Joe Manchin wants it to be. You would imagine that Joe Biden might be angry about this, and apparently he is, although this is how it was phrased to Fox News. They're reportedly fuming over Manchin, but trying their hardest not to show it, because that would be unacceptable. It's acceptable to doom future generations to climate apocalypse. It would be unacceptable to show that you're mad. A Democratic operative told Fox News that Manchin is ridiculous and said that he plays games and is a bad actor. Oh, don't hurt him too hard, identifying that he's a bad actor. Come on, seriously, let's have some fair play here. He says, this source for Politico says the president has told confidants that while he understands Manchin represents a deep red state, he can't fathom why he keeps torpedoing the party's best laid plans. I hope for the sake of Joe Biden that is a lie. I hope that they are lying to us that he can't fathom. Why would Joe Manchin? I can't come up with any reason why the guy who owns a coal company wouldn't want regulation on the fossil fuel industries. I can't imagine why a guy who gets more money than any other politician from fossil fuel manufacturers, the coal miners specifically, miners generally, power companies, he's in like the top 3. Why would he be killing their climate? I can't fathom it. I'm Joe Biden. I have spent the last 60 years in politics and I can't fathom it. I hope it's because his brain is literally boiling in his skull from the climate change Joe Manchin is so perfectly fine with that he can't fathom it. They say it's a restraint rooted less out of a desire to play nice than the recognition of political reality. The last time they took a whack at Manchin, it backfired spectacularly, causing a months-long break in negotiations around a pared-down plan, which is an interesting narrative to lay out for what happened last year. Of course, it does require you to believe that Manchin was ever going to do any of that stuff. And so it's convenient to lay out well, we can't pressure him because then he'll back off. What is he doing right now that you're so afraid he'll back off from? How about another possibility? If you were to actually pressure him, actually make clear who he was, if you were to take all of Democratic leadership and set them up in a Best Western in West Virginia for a few months and do endless press conferences and town halls about who Joe Manchin is, if you were to get thousands of people to rally outside of his house, outside of his yacht, outside of his coal company, outside of his GD cabin that we're gonna be talking about in the nature preserve Yasmin was talking about, maybe something would come of it. And the worst case scenario that you could identify is that it might backfire. He might not support all of this stuff that he's in the process of not supporting. I'm not Joe Biden. I haven't been in politics for 60 years, but I would like to live for the next few decades. I know that isn't something Joe Biden is super worried about. So maybe it would be worth trying a little bit of pressure. Maybe that would make him budge on a bit of this.
Yes, it's one of those John rants that we were talking about before the show. But I mean, I do feel like the Biden administration has chosen to exemplify like this cool Joe Biden from the Obama administration, the guy who used to jog around the White House wearing his aviators. But the thing is, they need to get mad. They need to fight harder for the people who put them in office, right? These are the people whose rights are being stripped away, whose planet is being destroyed by all these people with, financial interests and things. And these are the people that Joe Biden is trying to play nice with. And it's not going to work. It's not going to endear people to the Democratic Party. And if the Democrats want to win future elections, they need to fight harder for these people. Us. They need to fight harder for us.
Exactly, yeah, and they can do that just for political pragmatism, just to stay in office. That's fine. It's not ideal for me. I believe that all of our investment in politics, our activity should be based on our values. But if they just want to do it to stay in office, that would be one thing. Also, they could do it because they all love to pretend that they care about their kids and their grandkids. They love to pick them up for pictures and then kiss them on the cheek and then put them down and then send them off to a future where they're going to be, I don't know, hunting in the scrap heap that used to be Manhattan to find copper wiring or something. Like, why don't they care? We need to make them care or replace them. If they can't be budged, get them the hell out of there. It's a difficult task. They have so much money that they've made in large part from dooming us to a Mad Maxian future, but we gotta try.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.